Hey, Tom.
Hey, JC.
How's it going tonight, buddy?
It's going all right.
Yeah? Having a good week?
Yeah. Getting hyped for airplane flying.
Ooh, where are you going?
Going to the Big D, Dallas.
Be careful how loud you say that and where you say that.
But I like the Big D. I'm excited about the Big D.
Okay, Tom, let's move past the Big D. God. And
Okay.
let's talk about wrestling instead. What do you say?
Yeah, that's less homoerotic. Sure.
Yeah, right? Let's talk about Money in the Bank and TakeOver this past weekend.
Those are two events that happened. Yeah, we could talk about that.
Let's talk about Big Cass getting the big boot.
I thought he was employed 2 days ago, and then what happened?
Right? Then we got to talk about the loss of Vader.
Yeah, that news came across today. It wasn't completely unexpected, but we need to talk about that. Definitely.
Yes, and then we're going to whatever else crosses our mind tonight.
I'm sure there were other things. I just can't really think of them right now.
Oh, yeah. Plenty of stuff here on this episode of the Cheaters Never Pin podcast. So let's get this thing started. Tom, can you do me a favor?
What's that, Jason?
Can you ring that bell for me, buddy?
Sure.
You're listening to the Cheaters Never Pin podcast, a proud part of the Section 328 network, bringing you all the best in wrestling from WWE, New Japan, and beyond. Now, live from ringside, it's Mr. Workrate and JC.
Oh, that never gets old, Tom.
Bong.
This is the Cheaters Never Pin podcast. My name is JC. Here next to me at the commentary table to the stars is my good buddy, Mr. Workrate, Tom.
Good as always to be here, JC.
Yes, sir. Ooh, we got a full plate tonight.
We do.
So we should probably just start and not bullshit for like 10 minutes like usual.
We kind of did the bullshit already earlier, so.
That's true. So let's talk about, what do we want to start with? I guess we should probably start with the news that came out today. The passing of Leon White. That totally blanked for a second. I was like, was that his last name?
It's funny. You started to go Leon. I want to go Leon Bull Power White, which was his original persona in the AWA before he went over to Japan and did the Big Van Vader gimmick. I don't know. Do you want me to go through all the background first, or you just want to talk
if
about
you
it
want to
for
give a
little
quick overview of Vader, there is not much of Vader I know. That is before my time.
bit? Okay. Vader basically was a football guy that just, if you've ever seen Vader, you understand. He was a big, beefy dude and started wrestling in the AWA. At least that's where I started to see him first in America. And in the, I guess, late 80s, he had a feud early on with Stan Hansen, which would end up playing into things later on. But he was just Leon Bull Power White, this just big baby face, and it didn't really get over like most gimmicks in the AWA at the time, so he ended up disappearing and then repackaged in New Japan as Big Van Vader with this kind of 3/4 mask thing going on and this real impressive metallic horn anime-ish helmet shoulder pad combo thing which shot out smoke, and it was this whole gimmick. But in his debut match for New Japan, he comes in, beats Antonio Inoki, like the Lord and Savior of New Japan Pro Wrestling, the founder of New Japan Pro Wrestling, in 3 minutes, and people flipped out.
There was a literal riot.
What people say, oh, they rioted at that. Okay. No, they literally got New Japan banned from the building because people fucked shit up.
Inoki wins or we riot, and we actually mean it.
And it wasn't even like a good fight where this newcomer wins. It was a total squash. Mm-hmm. The legend of Inoki was just I'd say it was crushed. It wasn't crushed because you can't crush Inoki. He obviously got his win back and all that type of thing. But they ran them out of the Sumo Hall. There was so much controversy with it. New Japan lost their TV slot. It was a whole big thing, and but it got him over huge and made him a huge money guy in Japan. And he ended up touring there for a while. He eventually came over to the United States, made his WCW debut, I believe, at the 1990 Great American Bash. He fought Tom Zink. The only reason I know this off the top of my head is I watched the match today. Nice. But he basically was this complete powerhouse, took the WCW title for a while, was managed by Harley Race, then did time back in Japan and All Japan this time, where he wrestled for Baba and got into this big, huge rivalry with Stan Hansen, which resulted in some of the stiffest matches that you'd ever want to see, including one that popped Vader's eye out of his socket, but that's just a thing. Mm-hmm. But later on in his career, he did more WCW stuff. He ended up coming to the WWF, wrestled there for a little while, never really got the full push in WWF. He never got a world title run, which he probably should have, but was a main guy for a little while there, then ended up putting some other people over. Then eventually faded out of the scene. Kind of got some recognition more recently when he had kind of an online feud with Will Ospreay, I think it was.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Where, what was it, a year ago or 2 years ago? He actually had a match with Ospreay because Vader was talking about how the flippy shit just wasn't a thing. And
yeah, it was
Ospreay's like, I'll fight you. And
I think it was about 2 years ago. That feels right.
But, yeah, Vader was a big part, probably in the 90s was the biggest kind of crossover American Gaijin star that went over to Japan and then came back over to WCW. But he was, I mean, a really huge size-wise wrestler, but also at the same time, one of the more agile big men that you'd ever get to see. Able to pull off moonsaults for a 400-pound guy was just kind of amazing. But shoot fighter, he did some stuff with UWFI that was the kind of worked shoot thing, where he wrestled some great matches there. Just kind of an all-around worker. Like he could have easily gotten away on his size, but he could actually work his ass off. And yeah, go out of your way to see some Vader stuff in the late 90s. I mean, if you don't have access to the Japanese stuff, check out some of his matches with Ric Flair and Sting at WCW.
Yeah.
Just some of his stuff against Cactus Jack or some of the... It's painful to watch, really, because those two guys would stiff the hell out of each other and have fun doing it.
Yep. Plenty of Leon on the network to watch. If the search function works. Who knows?
Who knows?
I have not much to add to this, as I am not do not know that much of Vader, for better or worse. So
yeah.
But always a sad thing to lose a prominent figure in the community. So
yeah, I think he was 63. He was battling some heart issues for a couple of years now, and he recently had a bout of pneumonia, which he couldn't overcome. But he's had some heart surgery recently, and it was... They'd given him a certain amount of time to live, and then it seemed like he had kind of shaken that off and got a better bill of health, and then he was fighting it back again. So not necessarily out of nowhere with this, but still sad nonetheless.
Yep. Much love to Vader and his family and everyone that trained under him and knew him.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to other subjects now that we get that kind of out of the way. Better to do that first, I think.
Yeah, just bring everyone down.
Yeah, now we can build you back up, and let's start with Money in the Bank.
Should we do that, or should we do TakeOver first?
We can go chronologically. We can go TakeOver. That's fine.
Okay.
Let's go TakeOver Saturday night from the United Center in Chicago, Illinois. This was a good show.
That's shocking, isn't it?
I know.
The NXT TakeOver show would be a good show.
I have issues with it, but I mean, it was good. I don't think it's been. It wasn't the level of a lot of Is it the best TakeOver ever? No, but it was good. I was sports entertained for 3 hours or 2.5 hours, whatever it was.
Yeah. We'll argue later, but let's get into it first.
That'll be the end of this segment. All right. The Undisputed Era retained their NXT Tag Team Championships, defeating Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. 16 minutes.
For now.
For now, yeah. Then they would proceed to lose them on Tuesday.
Spoilers, JC.
All right. You know what? If the WWE app pushes it out and they publish it on the website, it's not a spoiler anymore. That was
We'll get more into this when we do pin mail.
Yeah, there's a pin mail question about it.
Yeah.
Good match. Solid tag team opener. Lorcan and Burch are great. Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong are great. Roddy still got shitty little boots, and he's a piece of shit.
Yep.
Fuck you, Roddy, and then you got your payback.
But yeah, a by the books, excellent tag match.
Literally everything you would have expected from these four guys. And I don't mean that saying they didn't rise above and put on a good match, because they absolutely did. But
no, it's the type of match you expected from them. It was a very good match. Is it at the? I mean, it depends on what you're looking for. Is it going to be at the level of a DIY versus Revival or something like that? Not necessarily, but one of the things that I read in discussion about it was it did its job in that it elevated Oney and Danny Burch.
For sure.
It elevated them as, these are two guys that have basically been doing jobs the last, 6-9 months?
Something like
longer. And it elevated them as legitimate contenders.
Yeah.
Which is what you want to do in NXT.
Yeah. Well, let's hope they keep them that level.
Yeah.
Thanks. My echo's going off, and I don't know why. That's always fun. Ricochet defeats Velveteen Dream in 22 minutes and 10 seconds. This was my match of the night.
Yeah. How long is Velveteen Dream going to be on that NXT roster? It can't be much longer, can it?
I hope forever. Simply because I do not want Vince McMahon anywhere near this gimmick.
Yeah. I agree. I understand that, but they've got to be looking at what they see down there and going, oh, we could use... But I don't think they necessarily, as tempting as it would be to bring him up, I think you need to cleanse the roster a little bit more before you start calling up even more people.
Yeah, there has not been a solid purge in a very long time. And it needs to happen.
Just because the purge involves a 7-foot person doesn't mean that's a lot of people. That's just one person.
Would you either have 7 1-foot size big Casses or 1 7-foot size big Cass?
The answer is neither, obviously.
How you doing? Shayna Baszler defeated Nikki Cross by choking her out while she was smiling and laughing in 9 minutes and 25 seconds to retain the NXT Women's Championship.
This was fun.
This was the worst match of the night.
Stop.
It was. You can't tell me it was. I'm not saying it wasn't enjoyable. It was a match, and I went cool, but it wasn't. This was. If you're gonna look at these 5 matches and pick one to be the worst, this is it.
Sure. Okay. I thought it added something to Shayna Baszler. She's been this kind of robotic, I'm a badass, I'll beat everyone's ass type thing. It gave her something else to do. It showed a slightly more dimensional side of her, and I enjoyed that. And I love Nikki Cross, so
Yeah. Good match.
that's my issue.
Nikki Cross, who's just kind of floating around doing absolutely nothing.
Because what can she do right now? She had a good gimmick with Sanity, and
Yeah.
then they took Sanity away from her.
So
Now,
dumb.
literally, all the sanity has left her.
But think about it this way. Carmella got left behind when Enzo and Cass got called up, and look how that turned out for Carmella.
Exactly.
How you doing?
So we need to find somebody without a chin to help Nikki Cross.
I couldn't think of anyone without a chin fast enough.
Find another Braun Strowman victim.
Aleister Black retained the NXT Championship in 14 minutes, defeating the Man of Rock, Lars Sullivan.
Who was so dominant that a completely missed kick finished him off.
Yes. But the story of that match is that it took 2 Black Masses to get him down.
Yeah.
So it shows
The
that
second one, just maybe not as strong. I don't know.
it was really the gust of wind from the slap that really did him in. It sent a sonic wave towards Lars and knocked him to the ground.
It's one of those like Street Fighter Hadouken things where the hit doesn't actually happen, but the impact of it.
Well, Black's all into the occult and black magic and everything, so you could think like maybe he can do it and just like control the person that way.
Is it like Skyrim where it's like the Dragon Force or whatever the hell it is, the Hoomba or
He's an airbender or
Yeah.
something. I don't know. Then the main event of the evening, Tommaso Ciampa defeated Johnny Gargano in 35 minutes.
because Johnny's dumb.
I hated the finish of this match. I'm sorry.
I know you did, and
I fucking hated it.
I didn't.
All right, you go first, and then I'm going to pick apart everything you say.
Fine, it was the right outcome because you know you're doing a rubber match. So Ciampa's going to win.
I'm fine with that. I'm not fine with that finish and the way it was booked.
In the sense of what? In the sense that the DDT took him out, or the fact that basically everybody tried to stop Gargano and the match was won, but he still had to bring him into the ring and then stupidly expose
That's
himself?
the part I hate. That white meat babyface, no bigger babyface in the company than Johnny Gargano. Like, they put that element in him. I do not like that.
He took off his wedding ring, spit on it, and threw it into the crowd.
I do not care. He is a white meat babyface with morals. Like, you know what? The edge of it there is, yeah, you put him through the table and send him off on a stretcher. But I don't like the rest of it. And then I do not like the one DDT taking him out with the 2x exposed or not. I think it's weak. I think it's a weak finish.
But it's the hardest part of the ring that has been made harder.
Nope. The hardest part of the ring is the apron. He was on the mat.
He was close to the apron.
Everything is close to the apron. It's only 20 by 20.
The apron's been removed. That by default is the new hardest part of the ring.
I just thought it was, I don't know. And the end, like, it just kind of, the ref missing and everything, it just felt so contrived. Like, oh, look, he's tapping. And as soon as you see that fucker Ciampa tapping, right, with no ref in sight, you're like, all right, well, I know the finish. Fucking, he's going to do some shit to Gargano, and it's going to be game over. And that's exactly what happened. Don't give away your finishes.
You knew it was, first of all, you knew it was going to happen 5 minutes into the match. He's not going to win 2 straight matches and have Ciampa.
You don't know that?
leave.
Why? Why can't he win? Why can't he win 2 straight? Why?
Because this isn't 1984 and he's not leaving the fucking territory, JC.
He could be getting called up and leaving the territory. You don't know that.
He's not fucking going anywhere.
No.
They're milking this for 3 matches.
I mean, do I want to see it again? Yes. Do I have hope and faith it's good next time and not just kind of okay? Yes.
The third match will be best of 3 falls. Winner murders the loser each fall.
The third match should be 3 stages of hell.
Help me out. What is that? Because there is no real definition to 3 stages of hell.
You could set it with whatever, right? You obviously can't do one stage as first blood anymore. So the first stage could be a standard match. Second one could be street fight. Third one could be cage.
Okay,
Done.
so you have the first one ends, and then they need a 10-minute intermission while they both put on jeans. Because you can't have a street fight without jeans,
and you
or
couldn't
at least cowboy boots.
And you don't want to do street fight because you just did street fight. Shit. So let's do
Texas Death Match. That's totally different.
It was a strap match between these two.
Well, you've set the precedent with Gargano and the beating him with the belt.
Oh yeah. And if there is one person to tell an old school story like that, it is Hunter Hearst Helmsley. He watched some NWA that day and went, "Yep, we're gonna do that."
Dusty would have wanted a bull rope match.
Yep.
Hey, Steve Corino's still around.
That's true.
He can still do a bull rope match.
And he's working there.
Yep.
Any other thoughts on TakeOver?
No, I think that's pretty much it. It was cool to see Mustache Mountain win the belts several days later from Roddy and Kyle O'Reilly
at the UK Championship Tournament. Oh, I guess we can talk about this here because it is technically NXT. Johnny Saint and Triple H announcing the creation of NXT UK, an all new brand that will have another women's and tag titles and will air on the network with tapings in like a month.
Yeah,
so that's exciting.
It's nice to see that they're actually doing something with the UK Championship instead of just trotting it out every once in a while and just throwing it on the occasional NXT taping.
Yeah, it'll be good, and all the talent they've signed's solid, so it'll be good.
Yeah.
Money in the Bank was another show that went on for 18 and a half hours because that's the new normal.
I love how they expanded it to 4 hours and still went over.
Yeah, what the hell? I was all ready to be like, all right, I'm good starting at 7 if this is going to be over at 11. No.
It was like 11 o'clock and they were just starting the ladder match.
Yeah. As soon as I saw Ronda and Nia Jax coming out at like 10:30, I was like, oh, fuck. We are screwed.
Yeah.
It's all right. So let's run down the card here. Because that's what we do.
That's what we do.
And tell you our opinions. Because that's what you pay the big bucks for.
Absolutely. Thank you, Patreon members.
Yes. The Bludgeon Brothers defeated Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson in 7 minutes to retain their SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Would have been a good match. They needed more time. It was fine like it was, but could have been good.
Match was so good, they did it again on Tuesday.
With the same outcome.
Yeah. Tuesday's match was actually a better match.
Yes.
But
Daniel Bryan defeated Big Cass by submission in the Curtain Jerker, 16 minutes. Defeated him by submission.
Loser leaves town match, apparently.
Yes. This match was fine. It was Daniel Bryan and Big Cass. It was arguably Big Cass's best singles match on the main roster.
Congratulations. Get out.
Yeah. The news broke Tuesday afternoon. Look at the page on WWE.com now. The headline, Big Cass released. One sentence, WWE has come to terms on the release of William Morrissey, Big Cass. He didn't even get future endeavored, y'all.
The old Simpsons references. So that's it. After 20 years, goodbye and good luck. I don't remember saying good luck.
So here are all the other details, and I'm going to paraphrase from Pro Wrestling Sheets report. Here's apparently all the things that led to this firing and why he was not future endeavored. Of course, when he shot on the little person against Vince's wishes, the little person that was portraying Daniel Bryan.
Not just a smaller person than Big Cass, but an actual
little person.
Yeah.
Yep. Shot on him. Cool. Then there's this part, which I had not heard until today. According to Sports Illustrated, Big Cass was apparently drinking during the European tour, which took place a week after the little person incident. And Big Cass allegedly had attitude issues. They also claim being intoxicated in public is one of the underlying reasons for his firing.
I've also heard about a particular bus incident.
Multiple sources tell us one of the incidents which rubbed people the wrong way happened in private, however, on the WWE bus that was chauffeuring talent. We're told the bathroom lock was apparently broken, but Cass didn't realize it and thought he was being pranked. After being stuck inside for too long, a claustrophobic / angry Cass broke down the door. This meant people had to embarrassingly use the bathroom afterward with no door. This obviously made some of the riders on the bus unhappy.
So, neither one of those guys were too liked in the locker room, apparently.
Yeah. Well, I mean, was it? It was like a year ago or a year and a half ago. We all had heard Cass had heat anyway for being a huge Trump supporter in the locker room, and everybody being like, "Shut your fucking mouth."
Now, see, I don't see how that would necessarily be that big of a thing because, I mean, well, your boss is a huge Trump supporter,
right?
And there's other people in that locker room who are as well, but
right. And I'm not saying that, but I'm saying if you're spouting that shit off on a bus and in the room with the boys, and your boss is flying a charter jet and is sitting in Gorilla all day, I don't think a lot of the boys are going to be too happy with you.
Yeah.
So it depends on how far you go with it. So yeah, goodbye and good luck. Who was the first indie to book Enzo and Cass?
The Impact Zone.
Oh, all of the names on the Reddit thread of people be like, what is blank doing in the Impact Zone? Some of them were good. Some of them were like, yeah, you're stretching it. I always loved the ones that were like, what is Large Cassidy doing here? That's always good. All right. Bobby Lashley defeated Sami Zayn in 6 minutes.
And
cool.
Broke him, damn it.
Apparently he was broken before, was the issue, which is why we hadn't actually seen them be really super physical at all until this match. And Sami is now, this is reported, in Alabama undergoing testing for whatever may be wrong with him.
And Alabama's not good because that should be James Andrews, and that generally means
you got
arthroscopic surgery of some variety.
Yes, one of your joints is not working properly. Go to Alabama.
Generally, if you're playing baseball, you're out for the season.
Mm-hmm. Sami Zayn needs that elective Tommy John surgery.
Yeah,
just remove all his tendons.
Well, if he's unable to wrestle, that means that he can come to Kane's opening night.
Why?
To debut the goal song.
God, no. Jesus.
Stop.
Seth Rollins defeated Elias in 17 minutes.
And then what happened?
Dolph Ziggler defeated Seth Rollins in probably also 17 minutes on Monday night.
Somebody on Reddit said this is 9 years straight that Dolph Ziggler has won. In
every calendar year since 2010, Dolph Ziggler has held a piece of gold in World Wrestling Entertainment. That's kind of a cool stat.
Yeah.
And people want to give him shit for being real useless. They obviously think of something for him. Now, last year's was really useless because that was I won the U.S. title. Fuck your U.S. title. Now I'm gone for 6 months.
Did he win that just so that took care of that year? They had absolutely nothing for him, and he just goes to creative and goes, "Hey, can I just have the title for a day? I'll just throw it down.
Damn it, we have to keep the streak alive." All right, Vince.
I don't get it, but that sounds great.
I don't have a super lot to say about the Seth Rollins Elias match. It was a Seth Rollins match, so it was good. Cool.
If you're watching live on Twitch, you can see that the cat just opened the door.
I wasn't even looking. That's right. Ad break. Come and watch us every week when we record live on twitch.tv/cheatersmvrpin. You get to see things like this cat and the cat opening the door. And I hope the people listening think the cat actually like stood up and like opened the door, because that's what happened and you missed it.
My cats have opposable thumbs.
You did. You missed it. It was crazy. Alexa Bliss won the second ever Money in the Bank ladder match for a women's contract for the championship.
This was a good match. I enjoyed this one a lot more than last year's women's Money in the Bank match.
I did too. Couple of real bad spots.
Yeah, I mean, well, I think you're going to find that in most Money in the Bank matches, male, female, whatever.
Yeah, the likelihood of boy, I've got to really reach for this briefcase because the person hasn't looked up here yet.
And we had that happen several times in both matches.
Yeah. The worst one happened in this match, though, with Becky reaching and reaching and reaching and reaching and reaching and reaching. Oh, wait, no, now there's Naomi. That was awkward.
Yeah. But this is the danger that you're going to run into with matches like that. Like, you need... with people going up the ladder, you have to understand where you are on the ladder. Like, don't just jump up like 7 rungs and then realize who else is around. Like, take a few steps and kind of realize, okay, no one's here yet. Like, kind of give a hint.
Act like you're gassed or something. Like, yeah.
Maybe wobble a little bit. Oh, I took a headshot earlier. I kind of losing my balance because whatever.
Yeah. Everyone carried their own.
Lana was pretty good.
Lana was great. Lana is the best. Lana number 1. The crowd was hyped for her when she would start climbing the ladder, though, because I think they also wanted to watch the world burn.
The crowd wanted every single person to win this match except Natalya. Poor Natty.
Yeah.
Because every single person, as they started to hit the ladder, I mean, give Becky the damn title.
Right.
Just the crowd ate that up. Anytime she got halfway on the rungs, like the crowd went nuts. And then Charlotte had her fans. So when she started to go up, the crowd would chant. Lana, again, like you mentioned, she goes up the rung, crowd starts popping for her. Hell, Naomi goes up there. Natalya goes up. Brrr, like, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Good match, though. The best thing is it will only keep getting better. So
yeah, the first women's match last year was relatively tame, and not tame from the sense of whatever, but I think they were extremely cautious with the spots that they were doing. Like, they didn't want to do too many spots off of the ladder or anything like that. They still were a little bit protective this time, where they had a spot where there was a girl on either side of the ladder, and they did the 2 people are climbing up, third person pushes over the ladder, which with the men nowadays, they do it and they'll bounce off the ropes or even like go fall outside of the ring, that type of thing. With the women, they jumped off the ladder as it was coming down and kind of landed on their feet and fell down, that type of thing. Like, but to be honest, that's more realistic. Like, if you're on a ladder and it starts to fall over, you're probably going to jump off it as it's going along and find a safe place to land. You're not just going to stay on it the entire time and fall off wherever the hell it takes you.
Right. Yeah.
You're not like an action figure. You're not stuck to the ladder until it falls completely over.
True.
So I enjoyed that a lot. I thought everybody did a good job, and it was booked well. And
yep,
Alexa won, which was kind of a little bit unexpected, but
yeah, my money was on Natalya. Then
Alexa
won.
Everyone in the crowd boos.
Yeah, well,
You think
Speaking of everyone in the crowd booing, oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, you think maybe that... Nah, they couldn't. I was going to say, you think that gets changed on the fly because of crowd reaction? Or
No.
But
No.
after what was done with it later on...
Yeah. It was all part of the plan. Let me start my transition over again, like we didn't just segue for a hot second there. Speaking of booing, Roman Reigns defeated Jinder Mahal in 15 minutes.
In the official piss break match.
Oh my God. And here's the thing. They're going to go out there and do a match with out of 15 minutes, there were probably 7 minutes of headlocks. Oh, God.
And I feel bad because, I mean, for all intents and purposes, they're both good guys.
Yeah.
Jinder's a good guy. Locker room wise, he seems to be friendly enough to people outside the ring.
Yeah.
And nobody's ever really accused Roman of being a bad person.
No. Except when he does steroids. He got popped.
You want to die? You want to die? You want to die early? Go ahead.
Yeah. And here's my thing. This is Roman's worst pay-per-view match in a long time. I couldn't even quantify it. It just meh. The whole thing was just very meh.
Yeah, it's... I mean, we've had our criticisms of Jinder before, and it's a different type of match. They don't really work that well with each other for the wrestling styles necessarily. No. So you're going to run into some conflicts, and it wasn't great. But
not a good pair. Really shitty storyline. Two characters no one gave a shit about in Chicago.
Yeah.
The crowd, though, did not shit on it as much as I thought they would. Did they shit on it a lot? Yeah.
Yeah.
They did not hijack it, though, and I was proud of them.
They did the wave, but as we know, if you do the wave during a sporting event, it's not disrespectful at all. It's just people having a good time.
Yeah. And what do we do in WWE? We like to have a good time.
Yeah.
Let's see how. Carmella defeated Asuka in 11 minutes. And if you hear that, it sounds crazy.
Shit all over it. Go ahead.
I'm not going to shit all over this. I thought it was fucking great.
Thank you. Okay.
James Ellsworth is back. And the way they brought him back, too. It wasn't just a run-in. It wasn't just... He shows up on the apron in the full, giant kimono robe with the mask.
Yeah, it was like Asuka 2.
Yeah. Asuka is ready for everyone except for someone wearing her clothing. And then it freaks the shit out of her. And then when Ellsworth takes off the mask and she sees Ellsworth, she freaks out more. Asuka is actually afraid of James Ellsworth, is what I learned.
Despite the fact that James Ellsworth basically goes full Jim from The Office with this kind of look and wink. Yeah, that's me. Huh? He shrugged her.
So good to see him back, though. Yeah. As long as they don't turn him into a dog this time, it's such a great spot for him. And Carmella needs a heater, especially when she starts to kind of get over a little bit, because she's starting to get over a little bit now. Or not, I shouldn't say get over. She is over, but she's starting to get more of a babyface reaction because she's so her ring work may not be great, but she's so entertaining.
Yeah.
So.
Well, working off of someone where having her continuously cut promos isn't necessarily the thing. She's got to work her promos off of somebody else, whether it be her opponent, whoever she happens to be feuding with at the time, or someone like Ellsworth that can bounce back and forth. Damn, cord going everywhere. Who can bounce back and forth off of each other.
Yeah, for sure. AJ Styles defeated Shinsuke Nakamura in a last man standing match in 31 minutes and 15 seconds to retain the WWE Championship. This is the best match of their feud.
Yeah, by far.
So this was a great blow off. I thought the match was really good. I thought the story of the match was good. I would have liked to have seen Nakamura win it because now, I mean, I guess we'll see kind of where they go with him a little bit.
Yeah.
Since AJ does already have a new number one contender, as determined by a gauntlet match Tuesday night on SmackDown.
Well, I had thought I had seen that Nakamura was setting his sights on the U.S. title, so.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Because we had Willow return and cut a freaking promo.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's cool. That is right. You're right. I totally blanked that out.
And we need to have a U.S. champion who can't speak English.
Oh, God, that's the entire... Oh, Jesus Christ. It's just like, yes! Oh, the non-American should always... Oh, that's such good heat, God damn it.
God damn it. The Japanese will win it. Be the U.S. champion on the 4th of July. That'll be wonderful. That's a Great American Bash. We can do that.
What day of the week is the 4th of July this year?
It's a Wednesday.
Oh, my God. They're totally going to do it the day before.
Yeah. On an aircraft carrier.
Yes, with explosions. No pyro, but explosions.
That's the biggest a boat can be. It's a boat they put other boats on.
Yeah.
Vince, they put planes on that. Other boats.
Oh.
What happens with a boat 6? There's other boats on it. The people get on the boat, they go off. It's a boat with other boats. It's a boat with tinier boats. It's like those dolls, those Russian dolls.
God damn it!
Boats.
I need Russian nesting boats.
They can turn into a robot. Get the Camp WWE people on that.
Let's book Optimus Prime for WrestleMania. God damn it.
Bring me Frank Welker for goddamn WrestleMania. I will be there.
It's like, what? Let's book The Undertaker versus Optimus Prime.
What they're going to do is they're going to have another Funaki.
Okay.
And dub him with Frank Welker, the Optimus Prime voice.
Optimus Prime just, indeed. I'm in.
Yeah, why not?
Oh yeah, Rusev is the number one contender for the WWE title. Happy Rusev Day.
Happy Rusev Day.
Where were we? Ronda Rousey defeats Nia Jax by disqualification. So Nia Jax retains the Raw Women's Championship.
And then
before let's talk about the match before we get to let's talk about the match first.
Okay.
Ronda came out smiling.
I'm okay with that.
I'm not okay with that ever. They fixed it on Monday. Wasn't okay with it on Sunday.
Well, understand this too. Mysterious door closes. Understand this though. Going into the match, it was just kind of a challenge type of deal. I mean, Ronda didn't necessarily have a huge anger thing with Nia. It was a challenge.
Yep.
So she went into it. She's happy to be there, which I know part of me hates that too, but she comes out, she's getting cheered. So why not? This is still cool. I'm okay with this. Yes, I know it's not her in UFC where every single person walks out into the ring like they've just watched their family be murdered. No, she's not quote unquote in the zone. And that's what hurt her in the beginning of that match. She wasn't in the zone and she got her ass kicked through the first part of it.
Yeah. I guess you're right. I don't know.
So I kind of like the idea of having, or at least how they kind of played that off was, and I don't know if they did that intentionally. I doubt that seriously, but if you want to try to get past that, it's like, no, she wasn't in the zone. She came out there. This is her first ever singles match on TV. It's a title match. She's kind of happy to be here. She's like waving to her friends and stuff. And Nia came out there and just ragdolled the shit out of her.
Yep.
And that was good.
It was pretty great.
And Ronda tried submissions and things like that. And Nia used her size to get around it. And I think it was a pretty good match.
It was a very good.
It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I thought it was very good. What made it better was when, out of nowhere, Alexa Bliss shows up and beats Ronda Rousey the fuck up with the briefcase, and then turns and beats Nia Jax up with the briefcase,
and starts to cash it in, and then goes, "Wait a minute." And then beats the shit out of Ronda.
Hits them all more. What?
Like, no, wait. I've seen how this plays out. Let me go take care of the thing that's going to ruin this.
I would like to say the best moment of this whole thing. John Cone is apparently the only referee that's ever been briefed on how the Money in the Bank briefcase works. He accepted it, immediately turned and went, "She's cashing it in," and rang the bell. There wasn't 20 minutes of looking at them going like, what do I do with this thing? Look, here's looking at you,
Kiona. Go on a trip?
Yeah.
Money in the Bank. Is there money in this?
So Alexa Bliss left Money in the Bank as the Raw Women's Champion. And that was the correct decision.
Yep.
And everything in my house is losing its shit right now. In the main event of the evening, the new Mr. Monster in the Bank, Braun Strowman, defeats Bobby Roode, Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, Kofi Kingston, Rusev, Samoa Joe, and The Miz to win that contract and grab that briefcase. Good match. Obvious
Yeah.
winner. Obvious winner is obvious, but it wasn't bad. I'm good with it. If this means they're going to put Braun over Brock, I'm fucking good with it.
Yeah. It says 1953. It seems shorter. I don't know why, but it just...
Yeah.
It was missing something to me. I don't know if it was because I was expecting, like, as a main event and how past Money in the Bank matches have gone. And you had 8 people in this one. There's normally like 6, right? There's 8 in this thing.
6 or 7.
So you had people that just went missing for like 10 minutes. Like Bobby Roode completely disappeared.
Yep.
He got knocked out early and then went to like the concession stand and resized a t-shirt and then suddenly came back like 10 minutes later and decided, oh shit, I should climb up the ladder. So that's and especially with the outside spots that they were doing, with Braun and eliminating him early by covering him in ladders because ladders are real heavy.
Well, they're made of steel, Tom.
They're not steel ring steps, though. Are they made out of steel ring steps?
If they were made out of steel ring steps, each ladder would be about 7,300 pounds.
So you got to figure each set of those ladders are 7,500 pounds each. So yeah,
Braun Strowman's very strong.
Yeah,
there's a reason they call him the Monster.
Yeah. So, and then they murdered Kevin Owens. But I mean, all that spot and all that stuff was being like built up outside, so it stopped being a ladder match for a while. Like nothing was being done in the ring. You had stuff that was being done on the ramp, and
I guess that's
trying
what
to
it
set
was.
up that spot.
Yeah. The big spot was Kevin being thrown off the ladder this year.
Yep.
A good spot. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah. And glad he's okay.
Yeah.
Because it's a dangerous spot to do.
Right. But it was a perfectly fine match. I thought this pay-per-view exceeded expectations.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, again, I was a little disappointed with the men's match, just because, again, I look forward to those Money in the Bank matches, especially when Kofi Kingston's involved, and Kofi really didn't do much of anything. Like, there wasn't much in the ways of like ladder spots. Nothing like was the only memorable thing that I came out of that match with was Braun winning the title and Kevin Owens almost dying. That was it.
Yep, that's about right.
So with 8 men in a Money in the Bank match, how often do you come out of a match not remembering one ladder spot?
Yeah. True.
So that's what threw me. I mean, and I don't know if it's a thing of they have to kind of protect the ladder spots too, because you have 2 Money in the Bank matches. So you have the women's match and women are doing the ladder spots. So do you want the men to upstage them by doing the spots, but quote unquote better or more dangerous or however the case is? I don't know why I'm necessarily complaining, because I hate ladder matches for the most part because they're dangerous as all hell.
Yeah.
So,
you had to balance them out a lot.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, you know what it's time for now, Tom? That we made it through all that in a reasonable amount of time with like 10 minutes left to go.
Yeah. What's that, JC?
It's time for pin mail.
Do we have a particular theme that we're doing this in today?
Vader.
It's time. It's time. It's pin mail. Time.
That works. There you go. Perfect. So let's start from the first pin mail that came in from at Inlock17 Noah's Ark 84 on the Twitter machine. What were your thoughts on the Hardy 24 episode on the network? Honestly, a little surprised they touched on Jeff's drunk driving incident not long ago.
I probably should have read that question because then I would have watched it.
I have not watched it. We will come back to that next week. Please resend that message.
Yeah. I will say this, though. I agree in that I'm a little bit surprised that they addressed that. But at the same time, from what I've heard from other people, they address a lot of the demons, I guess you could say, with the Hardys.
So I saw
the issues that they had.
I saw one clip out of it talking about the Victory Road match with Sting.
Ah, yes.
And they have Sting and Joe and AJ and everybody kind of talking about it. And they, it was deep. It was good. It was very well done.
Yeah.
From H. Tom Servo on the Twitter. Pro or anti-spoiler, especially from official sources. Again, this is totally in reference to the NXT titles changing hands at the UK Championship Tournament. Night 2, which was filmed yesterday. It airs this weekend on the network. It is 2018. People have their cell phones with them all the time. The news is going to get out, so they should just go ahead and say it.
Again, this isn't the territories where, like 1984, where you can have the same title change happen in like 7 spots in the state and nobody hears about it from anybody else.
Yeah.
It would have gotten out there. It would have spread, whether it be Meltzer or Pro Wrestling Sheet or, Satin or one of those guys. It's going to get out there. And yeah, for the most part, they try to keep things like, hey, there are spoilers here, but it's going to get out.
Yeah.
And I think you kind of want the exposure too. I mean, you have a title change.
Ooh, I got to watch that. I got to watch that special.
Yeah, it brings the attention, especially for somebody like a tag team that came out and defended their titles on TakeOver. To have them lose their titles, maybe as an NXT fan, you may still not necessarily be familiar with Mustache Mountain. Right. And that gives the rub to the WWE or NXT UK group as it is. So, yeah, it does a little bit to kind of give the rub to the new guys. And yeah, I don't think it really harms the product necessarily any. It's unfortunate that it got pushed out the way that it did. So like I knew immediately when it happened, like if I didn't want to know, but I've also learned to turn those off for the most part.
So you can turn the notifications off. You can ignore, the Observer or Pro Wrestling Sheet or whatever if you want.
But when something's getting taped, I mean, it's one of those things about like NXT tapings. NXT tapes for 4 weeks when they do their tapings. Like, eventually you'll find out, especially if there's a title change or something like that, you're going to hear about it.
Yeah.
So,
next question. Ooh, that one just came in live. That's fun. Money in the Bank from Dan McLaughlin at Caniac176. Money in the Bank was the first pay-per-view. Are they still called that? I've seen in years. How would you rank it on a scale of 1 to 10? Seems like some good matches, AJ Shinsuke, and some stinkers, Reigns Gender. I'd give that one a hard 7.5.
I won't go that far. I won't use fractions or decimals. I'll go 7.
Okay.
I mean, it had good matches. I don't want to do 6. See, that was the thing. It's like I go, well, do I do 6? Well, because 6 puts it close to meh to me, and it was more than that. There were some really good matches, especially that Shinsuke AJ Styles match was one of the better matches WWE has had on a main pay-per-view in a while.
For sure.
Like a non-NXT match.
Yep. In the Twitch chat from Seth, where will NXT UK rank on your WWE shows worth watching? Above or below 205 NXT, etc. It'll be above 205 Live.
Even with Leo Rush?
Even with Leo Rush. I don't know. I'm going to see where... I don't know. It's hard to say. I will definitely watch it because I've watched so much of a lot of those guys in the past that it's just a natural kind of extension for me coming as a Progress fan into it.
Yeah, that was my thought, that you're the one that kind of exposed me to Progress, and I figured you'd be all over it. I will watch it to begin with just to see presentation. I mean, is it going to be, like pretty much NXT with just like some kind of UK flair to it, or are they actually going to go all out with the UK aspect of it and make it a different show just with NXT kind of slapped on there, but have it like be a completely independent type of show?
Yeah.
Or
it's going to be really interesting.
I'll be actively watching it first, but I can't guarantee.
Also, are they going to have their own pay-per-views?
What?
Jesus. Oh my God. Too many takeovers. Our last pin mail of the night, back to the Twitter from at Andrew Doss, fake Andrew Doss. Rank the following NXT matches 1 through 6. Are you ready?
5.
No, I'm going to give you 6 matches and you have to put them in order.
Oh okay.
Yeah. Black versus Dream from War Games. Okay. Almas versus Gargano, Takeover Philly.
Okay.
The ladder match for the North American title.
Okay.
Gargano Ciampa 1. Gargano Ciampa 2. And Dream versus Ricochet.
I should have written this down.
You want a second to think?
Give me a second to think,
okay.
And maybe actually pull that up so that I can stare at these. Are you making your picks?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm going to start from the bottom now we're here, okay? Number 6, I'm going to go with Black versus Dream from TakeOver War Games. Number 5 is Gargano Ciampa 2. Number 4 is Almas Gargano. Number 3 is the ladder match. Number 2 is Dream versus Ricochet. And number 1 is Gargano Ciampa 1.
Okay, I'm staring at it now.
That's my picks. Just off the top of my head looking at it.
All right, so I will go 6. 6, I'll go along with you and go Black versus Dream. And again, by no means are any of these bad matches.
Right, that's the thing. Except for...
It's like picking your children. They're like, okay.
Is this Sophie's Choice of NXT?
Yeah. 5. I'll go along with you with Gargano Ciampa too. Like,
Yeah.
and I don't have a problem with the finish like you do, but again, it's a very good match, but these are what we're running into here.
Yep.
And let me know. I wasn't necessarily listening to your rankings. These may be exactly the same.
Okay, I'm keeping track of it.
I'll do the ladder match at 4.
Okay. Yeah.
And again, putting together my prejudice of ladder matches and the fact that you had so many people in that match, it makes it a little bit hard to follow sometimes. So
True.
I'd like one-on-one. I will go Dream versus Ricochet 3.
Okay.
I like that match a lot, but I can't put it ahead of Almas versus Gargano because that told such a good story.
For sure.
And I really love that match. And then Gargano versus Ciampa 1 is my top.
Yeah. For sure.
So I think we're relatively close there.
Yeah. Pretty much. Cool. All right. I think we're done.
I think so.
I think this is our longest episode in a while. Right at an hour. It's good. A lot of wrestling.
I knew we were going to have a lot of content. So
Yeah. And we still kept it to an hour. This is our most successful podcast of all time.
We're done. Good night, everyone.
Oh, Tom, tell the people where they can find you on the internet.
Go to the Twitter machine at Mr. Workrate, at MR Workrate. I might be streaming some stuff on Facebook Live if you're really into that, just for the whole purpose of the trip this weekend.
Got to build that brand, Tom.
I'm also on Patreon. Hey, subscribe to our Patreon and do stuff like that because we're going to be doing a bunch of podcasts this weekend. So this will be one of 4 that I'll be doing in the next 72 hours or so.
Yes.
And then I'm going to a live recording of another one. So that I'm not involved in. So it's just podcast freaking central here.
There you go.
But yeah, Twitter. You people know this by now.
There you go. Find me on the internet at JCBobbitt, JCBOBBITT, wherever finer social medias are pervade. Find the show on Twitter at CheatersNVRPin. Find us on Twitch at CheatersNVRPin. Find us on YouTube at Cheaters Never Pin. Find us on Facebook at Cheaters Never Pin. Find us on Patreon at patreon.com/section328. And if you got to buy some shit on Amazon, click our button on cheatersneverpin.com before you do any buying, and we get a small commission off of everything you make, and you don't get charged a dime.
Oh, and I have a PS4 now, so if you find Mr. Workrate on PS4, friend me. Not that I'm ever allowed to use it.
You
but,
haven't friended me yet.
I haven't really been on there.
Your children haven't friended me yet.
Do we actually know your PS4 name on there? Because I don't understand. A lot of the people that I know on Twitter have completely different names on like Xbox and PS4, and I don't understand why.
It's the same as my Xbox.
Okay.
So I try to keep each category the same, right?
And I guess you can follow me on Instagram. Maybe I'll try to put some stuff on Instagram this weekend too.
Can you do some Insta stories?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Try to do all that kind of technological shit.
So next week we'll talk about the UK Championship tournament.
Yeah.
We gave the one spoiler, but we'll actually have watched it by then. So yay.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the Hardys documentary because we promised.
Yeah. I guess I'll have to watch that.
And we'll talk about the build to Extreme Rules coming up. Woo. I can sense the excitement.
You can't see that.
Cool. All right. Well, let's get out of here. So thank you for listening to another episode of the Cheaters Never Pin podcast. I'm JC.
I'm Tom.
And we'll catch you on the flip side.